71% of the world's surface is covered by water. And the world's oceans hold about 96% of all Earth's water. Oceans control our climate, our environment, and impact to a major extent our lives. And to coin a phrase, we probably know more about the moon than we do about them. Hi, it's a pleasure to be here, and it's a pleasure to present this project. I've been working with GOPA for over 20 years. I'm an oceanographer from the west coast of Ireland. I grew up with the sea. I studied the sea, and I work with a brilliant team on this EU-funded project as its director. And I've been waiting 20 years for this. I'd like to introduce our brilliant team, starting with Barbara Casado, then with Philip Forrester, and finally with Huang.
Hello, my name is Barbara Casado. I'm a former employee of BNS Europe, and I must say that I'm a proud collaborator of the GOPA Consulting Group. Still in two projects, and especially in this one that it's joining us now, which is the Ocean Governance project. One of the questions that is here is why do I work in the sector? Being involved in a group such as GOPA really helps me to join two of my passions, the passion of telling stories and the passion of working in something that matters, such as the help and the cooperation and the support that it's provided through this through the projects we work at. This Ocean Governance project has a lot of technicalities, but it's also one of its main parts is the raising of awareness about what the European Union is doing in the field of ocean governance, and not in a security level, not only in the transnational political environment, but also laid to the ground, working with the marine protected area managers, which is really the people. At the end, we are talking about people. And this part really allows me to coordinate what are the stories that we are telling about what we are doing, and I'm really enjoying it.
So greetings, my name is Philip Forster, and I am a project manager in GOPA's Rural Development and Environment Department. I started working for GOPA in 2015 in January. I started in statistics and gradually moved on to work for the Rural Development and Environment Department. Why do I work in the field? Well, I have a background in sociology and environmental and resource management. So with GOPA, I have the opportunity to use both of these backgrounds to help people and to protect nature. Within the Ocean Governance Project, my role is focused on the activities in Southeast Asia. We are working together with WWF, and we are working on restoration of mangroves and corals in marine protected areas of Indonesia, Malaysia, and the Philippines.
Hello, my name is Huang Duan. I am project manager in the Department Rural and Development and Environment of GOPA. I am study international relationship and finance and banking. I've worked for GOPA since 14 years in financial project management sector. I'm well acquainted with EU procedure and regulations, and have gained a broad international experience in financial and administrative management of a large number of complex EU funded and other donors programs. My role in the project is focused on coordinating role in financial management at the highest standards of transparency and integrity with EU client and within the consortium of this project. This project I like very much to work in this project because that is focused on the ocean governance and is one of the very important part of climate change that I'm very like and interested in the sector.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're implementing this project together with our partners BNS and WWF Indonesia. The project is building links between marine protected areas in the Atlantic Basin and Southeast Asia for the benefit of wildlife conservation and local economies. We work with marine protected areas in the Atlantic Basin and Southeast Asia on a range of topics from Arctic marine protected areas to marine mammals, humpback whales, to coral reef and mangrove restoration in the Sulawesi seascape. Let's look at some of the Arctic marine protected areas we've been studying. We're currently implementing a series of studies on marine protected areas in the Atlantic Basin to give a comprehensive and detailed database and mapping of the current status quo. This includes in Arctic countries Canada, Greenland, Iceland, and Norway, and their marine protected areas, as well as looking at specific case studies from each. The Arctic itself is home to some of the last undisturbed marine spaces on Earth. Sea ice, coastal permafrost, fjords, glacial drainage, open ocean and remote islands make up this unique marine and coastal environment. The ecosystems themselves are home to over 5,000 animal species. This includes the polar bear, 2,000 species of algae, and tens of thousands of microbes. Climate change is a huge threat to the region, and it continues to decrease its overall resilience, while exacerbated by other anthropogenic activities and impacts. Therefore, projects to protect and manage the region's biodiversity and unique resources are becoming more and more critical. We're also developing a toolkit for the protection of marine mammals with a special focus on whales and dolphins. The tool itself enables managers of marine protected areas, stakeholders, and any other partners to assess the extent to which marine mammals are included in their management plans. It addresses a wide number of areas ranging from whale and dolphin watching, strandings, to the involvement of stakeholders and other partners in marine mammal management. Whales are the largest animals on Earth. These massive mammals range from the 500 kilogram dwarf sperm whale to the colossal blue whale, which can weigh more than 200 tons and stretch up to 25 meters long. They're often considered as indicators of ecosystem health and flagship species. Unfortunately, their large size and mythical aura does not protect them. 6 out of the 13 great whale species are classified as endangered or vulnerable, and this after decades of protection. An estimated 300,000 whales and dolphins are killed each year as a result of fisheries bycatch, while others succumb to a myriad of threats, including shipping and habitat loss. In addition, over 1,000 whales a year are intentionally killed for commercial purposes. The blue whale, the largest animal ever known to have existed, was almost exterminated in the 20th century due to commercial whaling. Happily, some species have experienced population recoveries in recent decades. This reflects government and management interventions and is hailed as a conservation success. To continue these successes and reverse downward trajectories of at-risk species, it's necessary to evaluate the threats faced by whales and the conservation mechanisms available to address them. Additionally, there's also a need to identify evidence-based priorities of both research and conservation needs. And this is what we're striving to do in our project. So, let's have a look at what we're doing in Southeast Asia. In Southeast Asia, we're working with our consortium partners WWF Indonesia on the development of transboundary marine protected areas, coral reef and mangrove restoration, in particular in the Sulu-Sulawesi seascape in Southeast Asia. The Sulu-Sulawesi seascape is shared by Indonesia, Malaysia and the Philippines, and it's one of the most diverse and protective marine ecosystems in the world. It's located in the northern part of the Coral Triangle, and it is known as the world's center of marine biodiversity. This area is home to Southeast Asia's large nesting populations of green sea turtles. Marine and coastal resources provide food, livelihood protection, and protection from natural catastrophes and other critical benefits to millions of people in adjacent countries. Anthropogenic influences such as overfishing, destructive fishing practices, and rapid population growth, as well as unsustainable coastal development and pollution, threaten these resources. The situation is further exacerbated by climate change and its impacts, such as the rise in water temperature and sea level, ocean acidification, and an increase in the intensity and frequency of storms. Now I'd like to introduce you to my colleague Klaas from WWF Indonesia, and I'll see you later.
Thanks, James. My name is Klaas Teulen. I'm living and working in Indonesia and for WWF Indonesia for the past 25 years. I'm coordinating a regional program which is called the Coral Triangle program. The Coral Triangle is a incredibly important marine area. It's called the Amazon of the seas, so it's incredibly important for biodiversity. It has a huge span of waters and various habitats, coastal, deep water. There's mangroves, coral reefs, seagrasses. From whatever angle you look at this region, this is the biodiversity hotspot of the world, and incredibly important to focus our attention to. So the Coral Triangle, while for many years recognized by scientists, it was also recognized by the governments of 6 countries that sort of own these waters. These are Indonesia, Philippines, Malaysia, and East Timor, Papua New Guinea, and the Solomon Islands. So 12 years ago, the countries came together under the leadership of the heads of state, and they formed the Coral Triangle Initiative for coral reefs, fisheries, and food security. The Coral Triangle very much focused on shared responsibility of management of protected areas. And through the project that we are implementing with GOPA, the EU Ocean Governance Project, the Coral Triangle was highlighted as an area of focus, which was accepted by the EU. And within that Coral Triangle, we have selected a subset of marine protected areas that are shared between Indonesia, Philippines, and Malaysia. And in those 3 countries, we are coordinating the implementation of restoration efforts of coral reefs and mangroves mainly. So that was a bit my history through working with WWF, and again, it's a fascinating country, it's a fascinating region, and so very committed to stay here for some more years.